Hey everybody, Steve here at Hollywood Forever Cemetery, and I just ran into Lalo, who's here looking for a couple of famous graves, and he told me about two that I had no idea that they were even here, and I really didn't even know about the one. He was back in the silent film era. He died at the young age of 6, and Lalo, I think, was saying that he was one of the very first movie stars here in Hollywood. This is back in, what year was it, Lalo?
1921.
1921, and he was buried here in this cemetery before Rudolph Valentino. So we actually just found his grave. I'm going to show it to you, and I'm going to let Lalo tell you a little bit about, his name is Breezy Reaves Eason. Have any of you heard of him? I had never heard of him. Also, you were saying that right next to the DeMille gravesite is whose son?
Cecil B. DeMille's grandson, who was the son of Anthony Quinn.
Okay, I had no idea that Anthony Quinn's son was related to Cecil B. DeMille?
Yes, because Anthony Quinn was married to Cecil B. DeMille's daughter at that time.
Okay, Lalo, so you were saying that you come to cemeteries, you're interested in genealogy and ancestry and
Los
history.
Angeles, Hollywood history, yes.
Yeah, and so you've been coming here for years. And when did you say you first discovered Breezy Reaves Eason's gravesite? This was a few years ago you found it?
Yes, probably 10 years ago.
And how did you even hear about him?
Just going online and reading stories about Hollywood lore and the silent era, the past.
Okay, so he was one of the first silent film stars?
Yes, it turned out his father, who's buried up ahead here.
Oh, that's right. His name is also Breezy. I wonder, was he also an actor?
He was a producer, director.
Okay, so he's a producer, director, and then his son, that's why his son was in the movies.
Yes. And incidentally, he took on the name Breezy after his son died.
Oh, okay. So they just called him Breezy.
Yes. His story that kind of caught my attention and fascinated me was that I had read on Find a Grave, somebody had put on there that his death was caused by during a film that his father was making. Breezy was in it, and he was hit by a truck that that was disguised as a locomotive. And then I noticed that one of the comments in there, somebody commented and said that's not true. So then I looked up again, and just a mile or so up Santa Monica Boulevard, the Easton family lived there, and they said, like a typical little boy, he actually ran out of the street chasing a ball, and
he was run over by a car.
A truck hit him.
A truck, wow.
Yes, right in front of his house. That house is still there, incidentally. But yeah, and he never regained consciousness. He was in the hospital for 4 days, and he was called Universal's Littlest Cowboy. And they said he was, almost reminded me maybe of an early Shirley Temple type guy, because he was very beloved, but pretty much unknown now.
Now, you completely introduced me to him because I've never heard of him, and it's interesting to find new people. Now, this must be his mom, or maybe his sister, grandmother?
I think that's his grandmother.
1871. Yes. Okay, and then
the mom, I know she went by Jimsy, was her nickname, but...
And I wonder if she was an actress too.
Yeah, she was, from what I understand, she was.
Now, in case you're wondering where the section is, this is section 8. I'm going to add a GPS to it because we couldn't find it for a while. And you recognize probably the pond and the fountains here. And I'm here today because I'm here to visit Burt Reynolds' new gravesite, which is supposed to be in this section. And I was looking for it, and that's when I ran into Lala, who was just also looking around for Breezy's gravesite.
He was actually buried here 5 years before they brought Valentino to the great mausoleum.
That's really interesting. It's surprising, you know, it's interesting how many silent film stars are buried here.
Yes.
And they're not as popular as they were, back in the day, of course. It's been so many years now. I mean, that was, look at that, 1921 is when he died. That was 100 years ago.
Yep. Yeah, he
100 years ago, wow.
Yeah, I get his birth and his death month mixed up, but it's October, November. So,
all right, well, I'll look it up online.
Yeah, he was just a little boy.
Now, the other gravesite is located where?
I mean, it's next to the DeMille.
Oh, the DeMille. Oh, so over by my car where I parked. Okay. Let me add a GPS first to Breezy's gravesite, so if anyone wants to come and visit, it'll be a little bit easier. Also, it's actually right behind Maxwell Smart's gravesite, which is right there. Don Adams. So, I mean, he's right next to Don Adams. All right, so Lala, I'll follow you. Let's go over and you can show me where Anthony Quinn's son. Now, was he an actor as well?
No, he was just a little boy.
Okay, so and he died. He drowned in Cecil B. DeMille's swimming pool.
W.C. Fields.
Oh, W.C. Fields
Pond.
pool.
Yeah, in his pond, and he drained it after that.
Oh wow,
He drained it after.
that's an interesting story. I had never heard that before.
Yeah, very interesting. There are pictures online of Anthony Quinn and DeMille's daughter holding the little boy. You know,
Okay, so we're looking for
right there, right at your feet.
right here. All right, Christopher Quinn. So this is Anthony Quinn's son. Is Anthony Quinn still alive?
No, he passed.
And he's not buried here?
No, he's actually buried on his estate. I think somewhere back east. I actually met him once when I was at UCLA. He was from Mexico, which a lot of people didn't know.
So Christopher Quinn was only 3 years old. So he was really young. I'm surprised that Anthony Quinn's not buried next to his son,
Yeah.
but I guess that was so long ago. And,
Yeah, exactly.
huh,
And probably once, he wasn't involved with the DeMille family anymore.
yeah. All right, so say that again. So Anthony Quinn, how is he connected to the DeMille family?
Well, Anthony Quinn was a rising actor at the time, and he married Cecil B. DeMille's daughter. And
Okay, so all right.
and this
Was that
was
like
his
his
son.
first wife or something?
I believe so.
Okay, and
And,
then he had his son here, Christopher Quinn.
He had Christopher.
And then Christopher died. He drowned in W.C. Fields' pond in his
Yes.
yard.
Anthony Quinn was filming, and they had left him with a nanny. And from what I understand, the little boy had like a little sailboat, and I guess in those days there weren't any barriers between some of these homes
Yeah.
up in Los Feliz.
Yeah.
And he wandered off onto W.C. Fields' property, and W.C. Fields had a little pond there, and the little boy was floating his boat and fell in.
Wow.
And there are actually pictures online of, I guess the body's covered up, but of the
Really?
police and everybody
Very
around
sad.
him. But W.C. Fields was so devastated by that he emptied that pond, took the water out, never to refill it.
All right, so here's the DeMille family plot. Cecilia, Joseph, Cecilia, Beatrice. I guess maybe the two crypts here are for Cecil B. DeMille and his wife, I'm guessing, Agnes DeMille. Quite a few DeMilles here. Yeah, Cecil B. DeMille there, and Constance DeMille. So that was just a chance encounter here with Lalo, and it's freezing, it's windy, it's really cold. We're standing here right now on the north side of the pond, but just to the right of us, on the west side of the pond and across the street, is the new gravesite of YouTube star Cory La Barrie. Cory had hundreds of thousands of viewers and fans, and millions of views on his YouTube channel when he was tragically killed last year in a car crash. And I can tell you that just in the short time that I've been here today, he's had a non-stop, steady stream of visitors. In fact, I had to wait quite a while for the last group of people to leave before coming over to film. And as I'm standing here filming, another car just pulled up, and they're getting ready to come over and visit as well. Cory was only 25 years old when he died, but what makes it even sadder is that he died on his 25th birthday. He was born on May 10th, 1995 in Adelaide, Australia, and died May 10th, 2020 here in the Los Angeles area. According to news reports, he and his friend Daniel Silva were celebrating Cory's birthday, and both were drunk. Silva was reportedly driving at a high speed and lost control of the car and crashed into a tree at the corner of Houston Street and Carpenter Avenue in North Hollywood. Some of you might know Silva as a popular tattoo artist on the TV series Ink Master. Sadly, Cory, Breezy, and Christopher are just three of the many famous individuals laid to rest here at Hollywood Forever Cemetery long before their time. All three died in tragic accidents which remind us just how fragile and fleeting life can be. And I'd be curious to know how many of you remember or have ever even heard of Breezy Eason or Christopher Quinn. And how many of you were fans of Cory La Barrie? Please share your stories and memories with us down below in the comments section. And this week I'd like to thank my newest Patreon supporter, Kevin Cosby. Thanks so much, Kevin, for your donation to my channel. It's very appreciated and definitely helps make future trips like this possible. Okay, so thanks again, Lalo. I'm not going to get too close since we're all social distancing these days, but thanks for telling me about these two grave sites that I had no idea about. I didn't know the story and didn't know anything about, and I'm glad we bumped into each other. So.
Well, Steve, nice meeting you too.
Nice
Very
meeting
interesting.
you too.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Talk to you.
All right, till next time. Thanks for sharing the memories, everybody.